morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us for the 2021 Kidney Walk. I'm happy to be here today. My name is Marcia Hilditch, for those of you that don't know me, and I am the Community Outreach Manager for the National Kidney Foundation in Connecticut. Actually, we have Sydney the Kidney, who has joined us this morning over my shoulder, who many of you know from years past, but those of you that haven't met him before, this is Sydney, and he's a big part of our Kidney Walk, so I thought I'd bring him along today. I want to thank you all for joining and for all the hard work you've done in raising the funds that help us support our programs. Back in 2020 during COVID, we were still able to do some of our programs virtually. So our patients got a transplant seminar, and the money that you raise for these walks goes to all of our programs and services for our kidney patients and their caregivers. So it's so important that we keep up the good work. I want to also thank everyone who is on the call today. And if you're planning on walking, where I am in Brantford, it looks like the sun is coming out. So hopefully you'll be able to. I know there's a few who were going to try to go out and walk. Jan's fans, I know you were going to try to take a walk. Ashante in Hamden was going to get a group together and go for a walk down one of the main streets. So thank you. Don't forget to post your pictures, send your page to your supporters. So without further ado, I would like to introduce our mission speaker for today. Our mission speaker has many, many attributes, among them being a huge supporter of the National Kidney Foundation. He has taken it upon himself to support our Living Donor Protection Act bill. He helped get it through the House and through the Senate, and it got to the governor's desk. And I am so happy to say, as of July 12th, I believe, the governor signed it. So that bill is now law, and we're off and running with that, which is, we've had so much help aside from Jeff, but just everybody has worked so hard to get this bill passed. So hopefully it will be a help to people who want to be living donors. So without further ado, Jeff, State Representative Jeff Curry. Thank you so much, Jeff.
Thank you so much, Marcia, and good morning, everyone. And thank you all so much for inviting me today to join you this morning, and for allowing you a chance to share my story, one that some of you may have heard on a number of occasions, but one that continues to unfold even as the actual transplant chapter ended about 6 months or so ago. Also, I just want to give a huge thank you to those participating today in support of the National Kidney Foundation here in Connecticut, and for the critically needed work that they're doing to raise awareness, as well as advocate and educate people, all in an effort to prevent and manage kidney disease, and while improving the health and well-being of those affected, and to ensure an increase in the availability of healthy organs if and when a transplant is needed. No one could have predicted, I think, that last year was going to be a year of such highs and lows, but I should have expected that it was going to be much more of a roller coaster. When a biopsy came back in January of 2020, after a few years of my own kidney management showing that I had IgA nephropathy and that a life-saving transplant would be needed in my future, is what they said. At that point, it was likely about 5, 6, 7 years or so, given the disease's typically slow progression. So we continued to monitor its progression, and just 6 months later, at the height of the pandemic with Ms. Rona and her virus, tests shockingly revealed to us that it was end-stage renal failure, and that I was to immediately begin the transplant process with the phenomenal team over at Harvard Hospital. I wound up leaping full body into uncharted territory and was fully submerged in the unfamiliar. At that point, I thought I was going to be voting for the next U.S. president that November before I would be needing to start my research process for a transplant. But given 2020's legacy, it was definitely the rotten cherry on the melted sundae of life that many of us were experiencing. But beyond navigating the process, I found myself in a foreign position of needing help and for someone to advocate for me, because I've always been the one to offer support and encourage people to reach out to me if they needed something. Because as Marsha mentioned, I have the privilege of representing my hometown of East Hartford, as well as South Windsor and Manchester, as one of its state representatives here in Connecticut. It's a job that I am truly passionate about. I'm able to directly affect change and raise awareness on a variety of issues. And I take pride in being able to help my neighbors through sometimes some of the most difficult moments in their lives. And now being on the other end of that was completely out of my comfort zone. During quarantine, when I ran out of toilet paper, I had a hard enough time asking for that. So you can imagine how it would be asking for a spare part of somebody's body. So when I received that news in June of 2020, I decided to wait a few weeks until my birthday to tell everyone, including my close friends and family. I figured the best way to get the word out would be to make that my one birthday wish that year. So on July 30th, almost a year ago now, I set up a birthday cake made out of kidney bean cans. I threw a candle on top and created a video that wound up going viral on Facebook, shared around the world. We launched a website. We had card decals that we shipped all over the country. And then, as many of you are familiar with the process, I waited. The response that we received was completely overwhelming, and I'm not really quite sure that the team over at Harvard Hospital was really prepared for the flood of inquiries from those looking to be tested to see if they were a match. In my case, the local papers ran the story, the news channels all ran the story, all bringing even more attention to my life-saving request. And given my political position and the relationships I've built during my time in office, I was fortunate to have that wide net to cast, but I know not everybody has that, and I recognize the privilege in what occurred next. With the average wait time of finding a kidney match, usually somewhere between 3 to 5 years, when just 2 months after I released that Facebook video on September 30th, I got the call that not only did I have a match, but I also had a backup. And to make things even better and to turn the tide from that disgusting cherry on that horrible sundae of life, that match actually wound up being my closest and one of my best friends, and the backup being the wife of a childhood friend who I also actually served in the legislature with. It shows you how small this world is. But because of that wide net that I had to cast, my life wasn't the only one that was changed. And because of the general awareness that came from asking and from putting it out there in the public, as many of us have to do, others were also matched. And I think by far that's definitely the most rewarding part of all of this, and why many, if not most, or why many of you, if not most of you, are participating today. I think many of us strive to put that we before the me, especially right now in the times that we're living. We can't just make it about ourselves. So when I asked for my life, I also committed to helping others in need. And now that the transplant part of my story is 6 months behind, I'm hoping to help pay it forward to help others in need of a donor and just raise general awareness around the importance of kidney health and management. As Marsha mentioned, this session, with the help of some of the fiercest advocates at NKF Connecticut, the Connecticut General Assembly passed a Living Donor Protection Act to strengthen protections against insurance discrimination for living organ donors. Now, I have to give a special shout out, I don't know if he's on right now, to Armand and his constant and consistent efforts in reminding my colleagues why this legislation was just that critical, all in an effort to ensure that no one else dies unnecessarily sitting on a waiting list. And in addition to prohibiting the insurance discrimination, we've also established a Kidney Disease Advocacy Council to recommend and implement changes to Connecticut's organ donor program, to increase awareness, early detection, transplantation, and treatment, and so much more. So, and as Marsha said, I'm so happy to report that the bill was signed by the governor this past week, and it will become effective January 1 of 2022. So again, thank you to the National Kidney Foundation here in Connecticut for their work in supporting that and helping to develop the bill and ensure its passage. You know, as advocates and possibly donors or transplant recipients ourselves, we know the process. We know the challenges that appear both before and after surgery. And giving the gift of life should not come with lifelong obstacles, nor should the ability to maintain one's health while waiting or simply living. It's vital that we work to shine a light on these issues, allowing each of us to live longer, healthier lives. I look forward to a lifetime of sharing the love that was shown to me, and I can't think of a better place to start than lacing up my shoes and walking with all of you to raise awareness and support our friends and family facing kidney disease. So once again, thank you so much for having me this morning, and enjoy all your walks.
Thank you so much, Jeff. That story was amazing. And thank you for including more information on the Living Donor Protection Act. It has been an interesting almost 2 years since we started trying to get the bill even started. So very exciting. Thank you, as I say again. Now, I want to just add something, and I know we're not all together live, but we're still together in spirit. And in 2008, the Kidney Walks began, and I have been involved in the Kidney Walks for many, many years. Only the last 2 or 3 years have I been managing the Connecticut Walk, and that has been extremely exciting for me. I get to see everybody and meet new people and talk to new people and hear new stories. I've always felt that when the Kidney Walk was live, that we had it was like a sort of like a get together, and people could see that there were other people, you know, in the same boat that they were. I think a lot of people feel very isolated with kidney disease, and that shouldn't be. So I've always thought it's sort of like a group session when everybody got together and could see other people. And actually this year we had a new person sign up, and I sent her an email and I said, you know, how come you signed up for the Kidney Walk, and what's, you know, what is your story? And she came back with what I've always thought, and I was so pleased. She said, my young son has kidney disease, and I want to show him that there are other people who have the same thing. So thank you for joining our team. At this time, I want to thank all of our sponsors, because obviously without our sponsors, we couldn't, you know, be doing this. So our national sponsors are Fresenius Medical Care North America and Vifor Pharmaceuticals. Our local sponsors are Yale New Haven Hospital, Hartford Hospital Transplant, Horizon, and DaVita. As I said, without these supporters, we couldn't do what we do. I also want to thank the Greater New York team for all their help and support through this Kidney Walk. Sean, who is our technical person, Raisha's been helping with that also. Quinn, who is has done many walks and does the Greater New York Walk and has a lot more experience than I do, has been such a big help to me in both mentally and physically. So thank you all for your support. Again, we couldn't do it without you. So without any further ado, I would like to announce the top teams for this walk. And they are, oh, wait a minute, hold on, there we go. St. Francis Hospital, Hartford Transplant, LDPA 4CT, LaceUp, and Jan's Fans. Top walkers who've raised $1,000 or more: Howard Gaines, Heidi Cutter, Matt Bellman, Armand Halter, and Maria Labate. Now, things could have changed overnight. I checked this yesterday and made the list out. So hopefully it is still correct. And on that note, I will also say you are still able to make more donations, get more money raised, help us make our goal, which we haven't made yet, but I'm hoping. And let your friends and family know you're lacing up by posting your fundraising page on social media. Post your walk day selfies using hashtag Kidney Walk LaceUp. And as I just said, you can continue to raise money. So with that, I would like to do the countdown. But before I do that, I want to thank you all again for all your help, for all your support over the years. And I can't wait to see you all again. You ready? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go. Bye.